advisor. So before we go this morning, if you are to be in a position to advise the federal government presently, what advice would you give to government as to how we should properly channel some of these loans so that at the end of the day, it won't be an effort in futility?
Okay, one thing I will advise is that we should stay within since our debt to GDP ratio is fine, right? What we have challenge is our budget deficit to GDP. So we can stay within the threshold of our budget deficit. And since we also discovered that our debt services to revenue is low, OECD benchmark expect our revenue to grow by an average of 34%. But it's growing at a slow rate at 7%, 10%. So the question is that where is the gap coming from? Are some people evading taxes? Are some money not coming to the government coffin? So the government can track all those things and block all those leakages. So once they block all those leakages, and so we should also ensure that every loan we secure now, can we just focus on infrastructure so that it can boost our employment opportunity in order for us to raise our GDP. Once our GDP raise, it makes us to have a very good platform at the global space.
Then should we also invest more in production? And how do we invest in production if power is not steady?
So this is one, they've been trying to fix power since Obasanjo's tenure, even before.
Since I was born.
And so the question is that can we get to the drawing board and say that where do we get it wrong? Is there any gap somewhere? Should we be blunt the way we did for the telecommunication industry? Because, we got it right during the telecommunication industry. But when we want to give out power, we did not put the round peg in the round hole. We give it to our friends, right? Because we want to compensate them. Can we just make it that we give to technocrats that could help us to turn the space of our electricity for us, because no organization, no country survive without electricity. So if we can fix that place, it also help an average industry to be able to thrive more rather than spending money on fuel and diesels.
And when we have more industries, government will be able to generate more funds in terms of taxes coming from these industries.
A lot of fund the government will generate. And that is where government should see. Government will generate more fund through taxes. Government GDP will increase because more people will be employed. There will be development. Because when you look at most of this road, will be developed. You cannot see an industry that is established on a particular road. There's what we call CSR, corporate social responsibility. They're going to fix the road. Not only fixing the road, they're going to give more donation to the government. Right, look at Dangote Refinery went to Ibajuleke around that. Go and check that area. That area is open for development because an industry is there. Right, so the country itself will be open for industrialization. In the early 80s, this is what we enjoy in Nigeria. You could discover that Michelin tires were produced in Nigeria and the raw material was gotten from Port Harcourt and this thing. Volkswagen were coupled in the country. Peugeot was coupled in the country. Right? Even windscreen shield was made. And then there's this shoe, they call it butter shoe. Right? That if you wear it, it was being coupled in Nigeria. At that point in time, when people are not eager to travel out, they stay in Nigeria. You see somebody travel to UK on a Friday and resume work on a Monday, and there's no need for visa. Even they'll be ready to embrace you. That's how Nigeria was then. Then you see people traveling from Canada to come and lecture in Nigeria because Nigeria academic situation was better then. So we can also come back to where we are and make Nigeria a more better place than it is.
Okay, before I let you go on the program today, as a result of removal of fuel subsidy, states and local government are getting more money now. And I saw a breakdown from the National Bureau of Statistics recently, and I saw that some states are still borrowing despite the fact that they are getting more from federal allocation. Why is that so?
So this make more money available to them. But do we also have a monitoring mechanism on ground to monitor how they spend the money that was made available to them? Do they see it as their personal fund and use it for their personal thing? And another thing we should also use, and you see, most of our leaders have traveled wide. They see what is happening. There are some states in the U.S. that they fund themselves because of what they produce in that state. So can't we look inward and say, for your state, what are the natural resources you have? You should be able to fund your own budget by yourself. Anything coming from the federal government will just be an icing on the cake. What is happening in Osun State? So we cannot just depend on the center. We must be able to look inward and harness the resources we have for the benefit of the citizen in that state and for the country at large.
All right, very engaging moment with Dr. Oluwasola Ganiu, Chartered Accountant and Financial Advisor on Nigeria's debt servicing and growing dependence on loans. And like you did say, it's not a crime to borrow, but why are you borrowing? Are you channeling those funds into something productive, infrastructure, and to overall development of your economy, so that at the end of the day, governments at different levels will be able to generate more funds from some of these industries that would have been established due to the productivity of some of these loans. We thank you very much for your time on the program.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we'll take a short break now. When we come back, we'll be looking at the politics of Lagos on the other side of the conversation. Stay with us.